Hey guys, Wraith calling. I'm on Redshire, and I am teamed up with, again, Slick Joey. And things may look a little different today because Wargaming decided to promote the comic book from Dark Horse Comics, and everything's got an Instagram filter over it. I'm not real wild about it, but it's supposed to be just a temporary thing. So the graphics look a little cartoonish. They're supposed to look a little goofy. It took a little getting used to, but it wasn't horrible. But you also notice I am driving a Stug, but not just any Stug. This is the comic book Stug, the Hunter. So, unlike the other comic book tanks, the crew is not special. It comes with a free camouflage skill, but they're not named anything special. A couple of the people I've talked to, their guys have different names, so it's not like they're all named Bob Smith, the ace tanker guy from the Stug. It's not. It's just some crew guy with automatic camouflage skill, which is handy because the Stug is already stealthy enough for a tank destroyer, and this is just that much more. So basically, it's modeled after a Stug 4, and of course, it's got a little extra bits of detail work done to it because it's a comic book tank. So what else sets this apart? Well, let's see. It is Tier 5 Premium German Tank Destroyer. It does not have the final gun. It does have one of the 76mm guns, which is not bad at Tier 5. It does have premium matchmaking, which is kind of interesting, which does make that gun viable and actually pretty useful. In the games we played in it, even the Tier 6 games, we had a little trouble penetrating some of the, even with the APCR rounds, the Japanese super heavies were a little tough to deal with. The KB1S was a little tough to deal with. We ran into one of those, even with the APCR rounds. But the rate of fire is 16 rounds a minute, which is pretty good. Average pen and average damage is about 110, which is fairly typical of Tier 5 medium tanks, so that's nothing horrible there. It's very stealthy, traditional to Stugs. Poor view range, which is another Stug trait. So why would you spend the money for the pretty Stug? Well, not only does it get premium matchmaking, it is actually a pretty good crew trainer. The crew's trainer stats, it has a 65% bonus for silver and a 40% bonus for crew training, which is pretty decent. And again, 75mm guns carry 61 rounds of ammunition, 320 view range, which is just kind of so-so. Engine power is 440. It does do 40 miles an hour, gets there fairly easy. It has a good traverse speed at 47 degrees a second. Why they have traverse, I don't know. The frontal arc is not bad. It's still traditional Stug. The front armor is 80 at the front, some goofy sloping at some places, 30s on the side and 50s in the rear. So it's basically a traditional Stug. Statistically, there's not a whole lot that makes it special. Weighs in right at 24 tons-ish, 350 hit points, and a cost of 2,400 gold. Now the bundles are a little goofy, so you can pick your choice of the 3 bundles that's available with it, which is what they've been doing lately. But overall, we had a good time playing these tanks. And right now they got some special Dark Horse Comics ops called Dark Horse Drops, where if you're playing one of the comic book tanks, you will get drops. Drops could be a ×3 experience boost for the game. It could be a silver boost for the game. Those kinds of things. So we do get several of those. It's a good thing it has a generous ammo loadout because we went through some rounds on this game. There was a number of times we were running low on ammo, just from the number of rounds of fire. The gun is fairly accurate. Very quick reload time, obviously. It'll be nice to see it when it's not comic book mode. But like the other comic book tanks, there are a lot of little details in it. Some damage. You see some of the side skirting for the side armor is missing. There's extra stuff on the bits on the back of it. There's like 2x4s and there's cinder blocks, and the front's got wood and blocks kind of like it just rolled through a pile of rubble. And it's fairly mobile. Now, reverse is poor. It does not go backwards very well. So you're on a hill and you have to throw this in reverse. It caps out, quick little snapshot. It caps out like 11 kilometers an hour in reverse. It's very sluggish backing up. It does not like going backwards. Going forward, there are a couple games because of the tiered matchmaking we got with this. We actually played it like a heavy tank and did well with it. The front armor is good enough to bounce, and you'll see the rate of fire here. They get one shot. It's SA-35. Sorry, guys. Do I think it's worth the gold? I think it's a fun tank to play. We had a good time with it. It seems like if it wasn't premium matchmaking, I'd be more hesitant. because it does get premium matchmaking. It is a good silver maker. It does make decent amount of crew experience. I think it'll be a fun game today. Do I think it's worth it? I like playing tanks, and I'm collecting the comic book tanks anyway. So even if it was a crappy one, I would have bought it. Probably just never played it. I do think it can be worth it. Again, I'm not a real big fan of the way they're bundling things. It does not have the specialist crew skill like the other comic book tanks. It's just camouflage, which is fine, and it's already a stealthy tank as it is. But it would have been nice to see like a stealth mode where it gets, instead of maybe an additional 5% above what the regular camouflage skill. Something like that would have been nice to have. Just a little something extra to make it stand out. Be special. I mean, it's a neat model. The tiered matchmaking is kind of nice. The gun's not a bad gun, and it does take a little bit to rack up some damage, but we did well. The front armor's okay, which all those are all fairly, most of those stats are traditional Stug stats. Basically, it's a Stug 4 that's not fully upgraded. Doesn't have the final gun. We get a chance here to see the rate of fire. And I'm running, obviously I'm running binoculars, a camouflage net, and I'm also running vents on this as my equipment. The gun is fairly accurate. It did little derpy things a few times, but it did well for us overall. And you can see we're kind of racking up. I got a lot of assists. I actually played Scout a couple times in this, and with the binoculars, and I think it really helped push the view range to this to something useful. Before I switched to binoculars, there was a couple times it wasn't good. So it's a good tank to run, and I think it's worth picking up, especially if you like the comic book tanks. It's something you can play. So yeah, you gotta watch this. There's the goofy stats here. I got 2 kills, just under 9 head damage, which is good enough to give me first class mastery, 500 spotting damage. There's the Dark Host bonus times 2 crew XP, and you see Joey in his head and had just under 1,000 XP, 1,200 damage, and 5 kills. Good tank. I had a lot of fun with it. Hopefully the comic book colors go away. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, keep your powder dry.